To every single Georgia teacher reading this tonight, long after the final bell has rung, we see you. You've spent all day taking care of other people's children, and right now, you are exhausted. You're likely still working through the highly visible requirements of your job, grading a mountain of assignments, answering a dozen parent emails, preventing tomorrow's operational fires. But sitting beneath those measurable tasks is an invisible ledger. You carry the quiet, unquantifiable emotional labor of watching kids struggle with challenges no child should have to face, absorbing their distress hour after hour. Looking at a teacher's daily ledger, the imbalance is obvious. On one side are standard teaching tasks, and on the other, the compounding weight of secondary trauma and compassion fatigue. These are occupational hazards of the modern classroom, and that internal load is actively compressed by external forces. You are managing shifting directives from school administration, navigating anxious or demanding parents, and processing a relentless news cycle that regularly targets education. Your body keeps a strict record of that cumulative pressure. It physically manifests as that familiar tightness in your chest, a pervasive Sunday night dread that never fully dissipates, even on a Friday afternoon. The entire education system is built on the requirement that you take meticulous care of everyone else. Yet that same system lacks any built-in infrastructure to ask who is taking care of you. That structural gap is exactly why MentalSpace School exists. It operates as a dedicated safety net, engineered specifically for Georgia educators and K-12 schools to process this exact type of emotional labor. The traditional mental health care model is filled with friction points that block working teachers from getting help. Daytime-only office hours conflict directly with your bell schedule, and waitlists for a single appointment can stretch for months. MentalSpace removes those roadblocks with proactive logistics. You get access to same-day teletherapy with evening and weekend sessions designed to fit around your actual life, right from your living room. You are connected with culturally competent, fully licensed therapists who already understand the pressures of classroom dynamics. You don't have to spend half a session explaining how a school day actually works. The financial barrier is also removed. The service is in-network with major insurance providers like Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, and Aetna. And for educators and families on Medicaid, the out-of-pocket cost is $0. The entire process is built to slip into your routine. Getting support should not feel like adding another exhausting task to an already overwhelming to-do list. While this infrastructure starts with the individual teacher, that support network scales outward to cover the entire school ecosystem, providing the exact same access to students and their families. Dedicated therapist teams are assigned directly to your school to handle broad systemic interventions. This includes active crisis intervention, suicide and violence prevention programs, and structured family counseling. For school administrators, this infrastructure also resolves a legislative hurdle. Georgia schools are currently facing a hard deadline of July 2026 to reach full compliance with House Bill 268. MentalSpace provides the necessary compliance support for that mandate, operating within the privacy regulations of both HIPAA and FERPA. MentalSpace handles the regulatory requirements of the state while providing a bottom-up lifeline for the entire school district. The result of that proactive care infrastructure is measurable. When you support the humans inside the building, the daily reality of the school improves. This chart displays outcome data from MentalSpace interventions, an 89% improvement in attendance, a 92% reduction in anxiety, and an 85% family satisfaction rate. These numbers represent a stabilized learning environment. Students are present, anxiety isn't dictating behavior, and the community feels supported. Consistent mental health support functions like routine maintenance, providing a steady foundation well before any breaking point. You don't have to be in active crisis to deserve a space to talk. You do not have to hit a wall, burn out, or justify why you are reaching out for help. Requiring support is simply part of being human, and you are. Take a moment for yourself tonight and book a session at MentalSpaceSchool.com. Tomorrow morning, when you walk back into that building, you will have an advocate quietly working in your corner.